This is not a spring chicken, yes. While the East Coast is still having, well, is it record winter weather? We in California are being very fortunate because we are having what they call an Indian summer. And I know all of you are envious, but you know what? I think it's just because we didn't really have much of a summer. But right now we're going to bring Oldecam on with comments on the headlines of today. Bill's back. Clinton commands stage at the White House.
This was, they said, was no matter. They said everybody on the left and right saying, I mean, it just, they said that the incompetence of the Obama administration just knows no end because, I mean,
this
why
is
would
pretty
you
unheard
bring,
of.
Why would you bring Bill Clinton in and then stupidly say that that I have to go plan a Christmas, the Christmas celebration at the White House with my wife? He said that would, I mean, well, we got to stop the most important thing I have between now and January because I have to plan a Christmas celebration when they, first of all know he's a Muslim.
I know. I mean, it's like, okay, I mean, is this staged or what? But,
Yeah.
For him to bring in Bill Clinton, I mean...
No, it's desperation. That's what they...
Yeah.
Well, the people with Combs, this is one of the most brilliant things by one of the most brilliant presidents ever to have pulled this off and gotten away with it. No, everybody in the press is laughing about it.
Well, it's whether you're on the left or the right, there's one thing everybody knows is he needed Bill Clinton. That's what, otherwise he wouldn't do it.
But he also hates Bill Clinton. But they showed last night, it's going so far as the... last night one of the late night comedy shows had the president Barack Obama in the Oval Room, and he says, "All right, Bill, it's time for you to take over."
Oh.
Yeah, he's got his cigar and pajamas and going into the Oval into their bedroom. So.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine what's going to be on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, they were just chewing him up the last two nights. It's just like. It was the biggest mistake he ever made to go leave him. It should have been a joint press conference, but he didn't want to answer questions because somebody will ask him something and then he gives them that icy stare.
Yeah, but part of it, just by bringing Bill Clinton there, first of all, it's distracting, right? So the message changes because everybody was surprised to see Bill Clinton there.
But the people that support Clinton have no reason to support him because they all lost their seats because they supported Obama. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to support him again. I mean, by not voting for this thing, they teach Obama a lesson.
Oh, that's true, and I think that's a lot of what it's for.
Yeah.
Add-ons turn tax cut bill into Christmas tree.
Well, I can guarantee you, as just a few minutes ago, they said the Tea Party is now looking into becoming a third party because of the people were elected to office to stop spending, and basically, this thing was, okay, the tax cuts don't add a penny to the deficit. They don't add anything to the deficit. If they're adding $1 trillion to the deficit, it's because of all the add-ons. The year and a half, 13 months for unemployment, which they say will actually build jobs, which they cannot find any example of unemployment.
13 months would take it till January the next time they have to revisit it, which they'll say, well, it's January. They just came from Christmas. We have to renew it.
That's right, but and then they just... Too many add-ons. I mean, there shouldn't have been any add-ons. It should simply be an up or down vote, and that's it. But Reid wants to pack it full of goodies, and Pelosi basically, even though she's not going to bring it to the floor, which she has no reason to, the House is packing it full of their goodies too. This is Republicans packing it full of goodies, folks.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is not, it's Republicans too.
They just got elected, like I said, on cutting spending, and they're packing it full of goodies for their constituency for Christmas.
Maybe that's why Pelosi was so optimistic about
this morning they just announced in California the 405 is going to have massive traffic jams for the next 2 years because they just got $255 million
to work on it?
To work on the 405 and the 5.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Wow.
You know where that money came from? It's from the goodie package that they're getting ready to do.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but if it doesn't pass now, that money is all going to be canceled, and they're not going to do the work on it, which makes they piss the unions off.
That's true. Iran airs new confessions by woman in death by stoning case.
Well, yeah, so they're still going to execute her because she said she was evil. Isn't that amazing? Like somebody's been in prison and has been condemned to death, and they make a confession that they did everything that they're being charged with.
Oh, wow. Amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
Tensions high in Korea, but all-out war unlikely.
Well, it won't be an all-out war. The estimates are 20 to 40 minutes is all it will take for the North Koreans to be in the capital of South Korea with their military, because we don't have enough. There's 1.5 million soldiers standing facing 27,000. You think it's going to be much of a battle? And Obama will not commit the military to that fight. He will not do it.
Tax cuts don't cost government a dime.
That's right. Because these are extending things that weren't bringing money in to begin with. If they weren't bringing money in, they don't add to the deficit if you leave them stand.
Yeah, and actually the only cut that I know of that still costs you money is, you know, when you buy things on sale and you say, but I saved this much money, they still cost you.
That's right.
And U.S. Senator calls for hearings on plane registration.
You know, like 190,000 planes that they don't know where they're at. It costs $5 to register your plane. It's mandatory, and they haven't been doing it.
And nobody's been enforcing
But it doesn't make any difference about, well, we need to get this under control. If they get it under control, there's still 190,000 planes out there. They don't know where they're at. If they land at airports, they know where they're at because there's a log of them landing. If they take off, there's a log of them taking off, which means they don't know where 190,000 American planes are sitting.
They're probably in storage.
Probably sitting in storage, but I mean, they said the trick is they think that all you got to do is buy one of these planes that the government doesn't know where it's at, and then fly it into something. So they don't have to get. This is good. You don't have to get on an airliner.
No.
You can simply spend money, buy a plane that's not registered, and use it.
Wow.
Great, isn't it?
Judge refuses to step aside in Prop 8 case.
Yeah, because he supports gay rights for obvious reasons, and which means his vote is, you know where his vote is going to go, which basically throws the Ninth Circuit totally out, and it goes to the Supreme Court.
Nun accused of embezzling $850,000 from New York College.
Nuns are people too.
I know, but a nun embezzling money.
Nuns, priests, ministers. I mean, look at all of the ministers that are crooks. So.
Oh, true. Oh, you know what? That's true. This is a first for a nun.
Probably the first time they got caught on this big a scale.
Conservatives, key liberal, back a deficit plan.
These are guys that love to spend. And they tax and spend liberals and conservatives. There are conservatives such as Olympia Snowe and Susan Collins that have never seen a spending bill by Obama they didn't love.
Well, you know, I love to spend money too, especially when it's somebody else's.
Well,
But
that's why when you get a Congress, when you become a member of Congress, you love to spend other people's money.
I mean,
But
right?
they exempt themselves from they exempt themselves from their taxes, though.
Well, and if you're thinking that it's, well, part of it is they're exempt because they're exempt from anything that they pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just the taxes.
That's right.
Yeah. AIG takes key step to pay off largest bailout.
Okay, here is Mary Jane Obama. They owe $140 billion. They're going to pay $21 billion, and that's going to bring them close to finishing it. No, this is the trick is, when Obama says that these people have paid off everything, no, that's just one thing. Mm-hmm. They haven't paid off the principal. That's the interest, folks.
Oh.
Yeah, if you buy a house, you know about principal and interest.
You know, when I hear that, it's kind of like, how should I say, when you hear a company say, we're number one, right? Especially when the radio. It's like there should be a footmark next to this. They paid it off.
Well, that is if they put the footnote. Yeah, we're paying the $21 billion of interest that we have due on the $170 billion that we have borrowed.
Protecting abducted kids, rethinking the Hague Convention.
Well, yeah, because what happens is you're not allowed to identify them in most cases.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that makes it very difficult to do. You know, like it's a miracle that you can find an abducted kid, because once they're out of the area, you really can't publicize they've been abducted. So, and you actually can't go get them either.
Really?
Well, yeah, because you're violating other people's laws. When you should just go like the one in San Francisco where an off-duty police officer just grabbed a guy because he knew that the police knew that who this person was. So he just grabbed him and then just sat on him until the FBI showed up and then took him away.
Oh, judge issues injunction against LA's pot law.
Well, yeah, they said, well, you're going to have to allow all the pot places that have been in existence from 2007 to continue to be in existence because you didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's. You know what they're gonna do is they're gonna pass a new law which basically retroactive throws all those people out of business. Well, because they'll still throw them out. So they're not gonna stay in business. The judge says all they gotta do is do this, and they simply correct their problem. That's what they'll do.
And a Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
I know that often you have to do what has to be done when it has to be done.